Alright, so in this video we are going to be talking about GPO and Update 5, obviously. I've been making a lot of GPO content lately, and I don't know, I just make content of the games that I feel like playing. I'm not limiting myself to just GPO, but like, it is just what I end up finding myself playing the most. And I didn't want to play anything today, so I figured I'd just do a commentary video. But anyway, that's enough about that. Let's actually get to the topic of the video, being Update 5. So recently I came to a realization that Update 4 came out a long time ago, like a while ago. Like I think it was roughly maybe about 6 months ago, because it came out in September and now it's February. So I think that is roughly 6 months, which is kind of crazy to think about, because I'm not positive, but I don't know how long the gap between Update 3 and Update 4 was, but that was a very annoying and difficult gap that a lot of people, a lot of people were complaining about. But I feel like less people are complaining about the gap between Update 4 and 5. Maybe it's because we've gotten so many event updates throughout it, so we've gotten a little bit of content to keep us busy. And between Update 3 and 4, there weren't really many holidays, so there weren't many events. But it is just kind of weird how I feel like the fan base are just taking this one. I feel like people are just like, oh, well, just quit GPO this time. But like when we were waiting for Update 3 or 4, people were just threatening to quit. But now I feel like people are legitimately just quitting the game because of how long it's taking the devs to update the game. Personally, I don't think it's that bad. I think the Valentine's Day event is really good, actually. It's probably my favorite event we've ever gotten, like ever. It's really solid. We got a new game mode that is actually fun to play. Like, I really do genuinely enjoy that dungeon. It's a raid. It's more raid-like. You know, the waves you actually run through and progress instead of them coming to you. There's a cool, unique boss at the end. It's just really interesting. Well, there's 2 bosses, and it's just really interesting. And then the actual, like, Valentine's, what's it called? Oh, they also released a legendary with it, you know, Ito. Considering the fact it's a legendary, it is quite an underwhelming legendary, though. I think that's kind of agreeable. Like, it just doesn't seem that cool. So it is nice, and it just feels right in the fact that it got released as an event fruit instead of like a major update fruit. And they also did say that events would not impede the production of major updates, so that was a nice thing to have confirmed for us. I don't know how that makes sense or how that works, considering the fact that the people who make the major updates also make the minor ones, I think. So I don't know how that wouldn't affect them. But yeah, I just wanted to talk and think about Update 5, and I realized we really have no idea when it's coming out. And initially, I made a video maybe 2 weeks ago called Where is Update 5? And initially, I was talking about it coming out in March, which at the time I thought was reasonable, considering the fact that we had gotten Ito leaks, we had gotten a little bit of Mochi, we've seen one skill for Paw. By now we actually, well, I think by then we had received the entire Ito kit, which was definitely cool. But now we know that a lot of those things were actually just going to come out during the Valentine's event. So now it really begs the question, what do we know? Like, what do we have coming? What's been done? What's completed? And to be honest with you, I don't think anything's really done. Anything major, at least. We've literally seen one Paw skill. We've seen one Mochi skill. And also, they just recently told us they would start working on a Tori rework, which reworking Tori is a lot of effort, like a lot of effort. People didn't just want a simple rework of some skills. People wanted the entire fruit changed. Maybe a skill or 2 would stay the same, maybe, but people even wanted everything down to the model to change. They don't like the Phoenix model that we have. They think it looks plasticky. Well, I could agree. It looks a little plasticky and not fiery, and people don't like the glasses on it. So people want the model to change. And that's realistically almost the equivalent of making just a whole new fruit. So making a new mythical fruit, arguably probably the hardest fruit that, you know, to make in the game. Doing that, which I believe will be released with Update 5. It'd be weird if I'm saying all this and it doesn't end up releasing with Update 5. That takes time. So I genuinely have no idea how long this update's going to take. And if I'm going to be painstakingly honest, I don't see it coming out in March. I really don't. Considering how much we've seen from Mochi, unless they start showing us a whole bunch of sneaks in this next week or two, I don't see this update coming out in March at all, because we just haven't seen enough of what's coming in Update 5. We literally only seen one skill from each legendary fruit, and people want a lot from this update. Like, people really want a lot from this update, a ridiculous amount. People want quality of life changes, people want major gameplay changes, people want little changes, people want big changes, people want Tory reworks, people want 2 legendary fruits, people want a new island. There's a lot that is this is by far like the most people have asked for in an update. In Update 3 and 4, that's probably the least people asked for. People just wanted the update to come out. Like, we didn't even care. We were just like, give us the update. And then FOU and the devs were hyping up how big the update was. And to be honest, the update wasn't even that big. It was definitely the biggest update we had gotten, but it wasn't. It took too long for how genuinely big the update was. This time, I do have high hopes for this update having a lot, but at the same time, I don't see this update coming out for quite some time. I think maybe in April. I would guess April. I'm pushing back my guess for when the update comes out all the way to April. I don't know. March just doesn't seem realistic to me anymore. Before it did, but considering the fact that a lot of the things that I thought were coming in Update 5 ended up coming out in the Valentine's event, that really changed it really changed my prediction for the release. But yeah, that's not to say that I'm not happy with what they're doing. I'm okay with waiting a long time for updates. Would I prefer to not wait this long for updates? Of course. Who wouldn't want immediate updates? But of course, things take time. I would prefer probably smaller updates with constant, continuous gameplay mechanics and listening to the fan base. That way, if they do something wrong that people don't like, they can quickly change it with the next update. And constantly changing the game. I think I would much rather prefer that. It would just keep you playing for way longer periods of time, and it would keep a more consistent fan base, rather than just randomly spiking every few months and then dropping back down maybe weeks to a month later. I think that's just preferred by literally everyone ever. It's just it's more sustainable for the devs and for FOU, just having their game like that. Financially, it's far more sustainable to have it, consistent rather than spiking. And I think that just creates for a more enjoyable game and a more enjoyable environment to play, rather than just playing a game, quitting for months, waiting for an update, playing the game again, quitting for months. And I think it would just be appreciated a lot. Not to say that they have to do this. I'm just, chucking out ideas for what they could do. And I just personally think it's not a bad idea. But yeah, I don't see this update coming out for a while. And I also don't see them changing how they develop the game for a while. It seems like they've been stuck in this pattern of releasing updates like this for some time. So it seems like we're just going to have to keep waiting for major updates every few months, and to fill in the gaps every month or so, we'll get an event, or every month or two we'll get an event. And personally, a vast majority of these events kind of suck, but if they continue making events like this Valentine event, then I honestly wouldn't mind that. I think the Valentine event was really, really good. Some people maybe didn't like it. I don't know really what the what's it called? The census, I don't know. All right, whatever the word is, you know what I mean. What the majority vote was on how good the update was, but I personally did really like it. So yeah, that's really all I have to say for this video. Update 5 ain't gonna come out for a while, if I'm gonna be honest. I really don't see it coming out for a while. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.